so slow and still. Fading dream, a hazy blur, a whispered word. Soft laughter on a sunny afternoon. With the homies, everything's in tune. Everything's in tune.
Just do it. Let it rip.
Do you feel like you're allowed to like express as much of your Filipino heritage in a concept that's like innately just like very American?
Yeah, dude. Yeah. So, you know, it's crazy as a Filipino-American, you know, first off, growing up as one, didn't realize that was going to be a challenge. And then you grow up and then you got good people around you and you got good support and then good friends. But then this industry itself is just definitely challenging because I think back, and I'm only speaking about San Diego, I think it was just a different culture at that time.
Yeah.
So for me to step in, I had good peers, I had good mentors, you know, that really helped me and guide me along that way. And I think one person that really kind of like I saw that was like, damn, dude, if he's rocking it, hell yeah. His name's Errol, and Errol, Kuya Errol, Santian. Sorry if I butchered your name, Kuya. But, dude, he was just like a fresh of breath air. He's a legend, dude. And everybody in the industry knows him, and if you don't, look him up. This guy's stellar, but he has a big heart, huge energy, but he knows how to like light the room. He just does that. He just creates that. But he also inspired me. I think when I was working at Flux and I was with my buddies, I was the support. But I remember one time him and a couple of his buddies or co-workers, they were just like, hey guys, there's this spot in East Village that's going to close down, and me and the boys are going to open this place called Bootlegger. So we saw that as like, oh, there is hope. There is hope for people that just are not going to look back and just commit to work in the industry. And so that gave me some inspiration there. That gave me motivation to be like, if this Filipino brother can do it, if Kuya can do it, I can do it. So to me, I was just like, cool. I'm kind of, you know, I was going to college. I was kind of like doing little side gigs or side quests is what we call it. But I was also kind of thinking like, dude, if this brother can do it and he has that ambition, then fuck it. Why not? Right? And I'm sure that you guys can all relate. You see somebody, it can go from De La Hoya, it can go from anyone that is kind of your cup of tea, where you're just like, that inspires you. You're just like, hell yeah, I can do this. So Errol's one of those cats. And then there was a bunch of other people. But as far as like the cocktail sense of it, and kind of going back to the root of the question, is like, how can I put my little flavor flav or my little thing into that? I think that I knew what to do. Growing up has taught me a little bit of that, and I grew up with females in the house. You know, my mom in the kitchen, a gang of aunties, and then, you know, all my uncles and my dad at the time, they were just playing cards, smoking cigarettes, drinking Johnny Walker Black, drinking scotch, whatever the fuck they were drinking. But they were just gambling, just not giving a shit. But I was in the kitchen. I was just like kind of curious. Also, it's just, I was close to the TV too. So, and also I had easy access to the food. That chicken adobo was right there.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So it was all good.
Away.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, she gotta look away for sure. But it was like that. But then also like I think I smartened up where I was like just kind of like looking, and I was just like, what are y'all doing? But also too, it was just like the food was, you know, smacking, baby. So it was good. And so I think like seeing that, learning that, and then all of a sudden finding something that I really like to do, and having that inspiration from mentors and everybody else, that's when kind of like, all right, man, I can't be a stud club bartender, but you know what? I can, you know, learn the craft a bit more. And I think that the places I worked at, 7 Grand, and then working at George's at the Cove with the homie Steph in there, and just down the line, even when I lived in Chicago and then came back and worked for CH, I really found kind of my calling. But then also just kind of understanding like, dang, it takes a lot, right? All these people paved the way, all the OGs, but also too, man, I'm kind of getting all over the place, but I think it's just, I kind of like lost, when you want to come up in this business, you want to like just get there fast because the money's so lucrative and good. So you kind of create like shortcuts or ways. And I think that what humbled me was when I really worked at CH, when I really had some good mentors and was like, yo, dude, I get you, but dude, this is the way, like just kind of laying down the kind of foundations and the whole thing. And I was just like, dude, I get it, bro. I get it, dude. Like, Yeah. And so that humbled me and that made me kind of really see it. And then that's when the creative juices started coming in. Mm-hmm. That was when, you can hear the Filipino drums. The ancestors coming up like, like some In the Jungle type shit. But it was like really cool because then that's when I was like, cool, what if I flip this cocktail, add a little Calamansi? What if I flip this and that? And now we're seeing it now. We're seeing a lot of ube cocktails. We're seeing a lot of this and that, but also everywhere else too. I'm not going to just say Filipino, but I feel like I think I've seen such a huge improvement in the past 5 years of just a lot of cultures kind of bringing it in. Mm-hmm. And it's so cool. Now we just don't have like a straight up Ricky or a straight up traditional cocktail. Now we have things that are just so awesome, and I love the way things are moving right now.
Me too. Me too. And just the juxtaposition of like where we feel the industry is and how inclusive and it's far away from what it used to be. I feel from people's past history and explanations of their coming up, and then you see what's going on in the world, and it's just like the differences of the two. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I love that this job is able to take all of that negativity out there, put it on a dish, and I don't give a fuck who you are.
Yeah, for sure.
Sometimes you're just gonna love that fucking dish.
Yeah, man, totally. It's that ratatouille kind of, like boom, like all this stuff, but it grounds you and it takes you there. Yeah,
100%. So in a lot of these interviews, I talk about, at least I touch on how can you get someone like. What recommendations or what wisdom can you impart to someone to help them get into this industry? But as of late, a lot of people have been coming up to me and having like their struggles, and I think something that I want to touch on is mentorship. Yeah, I think you have a great voice in mentorship, and like your understanding of it, and your giving of it, and I think you have a really unique realization of who your good mentors were, which is. I think a lot of people are struggling with finding because of money or whatever their situations. Mm-hmm. But how can you recommend someone, or like what qualities in a mentor can you recommend someone look for? Because some people will just blow smoke, and you spend a long time there and you realize it was just like not right, or some people just don't understand how to find a good mentor, or like what to look for in someone like that.
It really boils down to my opinion, it comes from the start, right? You're kind of filtering when you're looking for a job, you're filtering out things, you're kind of finding what's right and wrong. That goes the same vice versa on the management level. Mm-hmm. But those are the initial questions you ask from the beginning and see if it's a good fit. It's just like going into a relationship or dating or whatever. You want to kind of feel it out first. That's kind of those stages. But also, back to your question, is that you got to make that clear. Mm-hmm. You gotta let put that out there, because if you don't, then you're not going to be heard. You're not going to really find your voice as far as like what you're trying to do or what your purpose is, and then you just get lost in the sauce, and now you're just clocking in and out.
Yeah.
As far as you just kind of let that be known, like, hey, love this gig, love what y'all doing, but hey, check me out. This is kind of like the things I want to do. And I've seen people do this. Like, look, and I want to see how I'm doing in 3 months. I want to know, how I'm doing, but I really want to have an honest chat. I think for myself, and I'm not always perfect. I try to be a good mentor. I'm not going to say I'm good, but I do care. And I think that's something that you can find in a mentor. When you feel that, especially when the energies are kind of, aligned in that sense, then you can see some progress, and you can see a result into that too, because then you're like, cool, like this motherfucker's with me, and like, you know, it's like I see eye to eye, and like, look, we're, you know, and meeting those expectations, and also just being honest too, you know, sometimes like I don't have the answers, and it's okay to call me out, or vice versa, and then just also keeping each other, you know, accountable, you know, also just like, hey man, like, I don't know, you know, that's a hard you can kind of feel it, but you can kind of feel it, you can really sense that energy, you can kind of really find that in a person, but it all starts kind of in the beginning. You got to make sure that's established first, because then you're just, again, lost in the sauce.
I had a really good mentor one time get to that point, and it was the point where I was like correcting him a lot, and one day he just looks at me and goes, you know what, fuck man, you don't need me. Like,
I think
you need to go start doing something,
right? I think it's kind of like, it's crazy when what you said there, it's like a kung fu movie, like the master, you know, you're done with your training, sensei, grasshopper, you're done, you know, it's like that, but I think so, but it's like kind of, that's the whole thing, right? You need people around you to support and push each other. You need people to really like bring the best out of you. You know, you can't just, I know it's okay to just kind of go through the motions, but you got to have like a good support group, a good team to just like take you there, because then now you have direction, now you have a purpose of coming in. And I know we're all going through some stuff at home or whatever, but if you're here in this nice little dojo of ours, and you got somebody that just like wants the best out of you, that's how you're gonna find somebody. And then you can tell when you're done, you can tell when it's all good, and you want to move on to the next. It's like 36 Chambers of Wu-Tang, man. Listen to it. No, but it's just like, it's the cool. I think that's part of growth. That's part of like understanding your craft and what the cap level on that, you know, dead ass.
And I hope this reaches like people looking for mentors, but mentors also, you know what I mean? I get bar managers talking to me too, so I hope some of them hear that and understand like there's a moment to let those people know, and at least letting them know like, hey, I'm kind of done here with what I can do. You know, like setting them free essentially, right?
But also too, it's like that could be that too, or it can be like, hey man, like, because the whole thing is, you know, I'm here to teach everything that I know to you, right? And then once you get there, it's like, because like my ability to grow is not really growing, it's more of just learning how to teach people to grow. So my ability to grow myself is not really there. I have to find that within myself.
So you think your growth is less so professionally, although there's room to grow, but more so like an internal growth?
You know, so it's like, you know, it's I don't know. I think that's kind of what I've been dealing with since my time here. Just like, cool, like, you know, because before I was like, man, I'm learning day by day, and then here it's like, cool, I learn what I know now, or, you know, I think I got everything that I need to know, and now I'm here to teach everything that I know to everybody, but yet here I am.
It seems like you got the machine.
It kind of
You got the machine down, and you're kind of understanding is like how to chisel each cog. To fit and see where they are, and see again. That's mentor mentality. You know what I mean? It's just like, you know, every person in your bar, and you're trying to shape them to be the best. Who they are.
And you know, once you kind of teach everything, I think that's another way. Okay, well, now that I teach you everything you need to know, well, here we are. We're eye to eye. Let's kind of learn together now, because that's the only way we're going to climb this freaking mountain, right? And then we can have that, you know, and we can climb together, or we can still be partners, find a best route to get to the top, right? But the goal here is that you're right here. You're my climbing buddy. We're thunder buddies, motherfucker. We're climbing. No, but I'm saying though, it's one of those, right? It's just like, hey man, I gave you a rope and that's it, but now you're right here with me. And and I think that's just a beautiful thing, because now you're seeing that fucking fruit blossom or that thing just grow, you know, and it's awesome, because then once that, you know, I had an employee there that's like now taking up management position elsewhere, and I'm just like, hell yeah, man, you know, you want nothing but the best for people. And you know, if you feel that you did all you can and you're seeing that grow, like you already did your job. It's like a teacher graduating their kids from freaking high school or whatever have you. You're like, damn, I did my part, you know? Yeah.
My man.
Yeah.
So, you know, you've done a lot of bartending, a lot of mentoring. How do you find a space to still hit new creative endeavors, you know? Because at some point you hit these like walls and you're just like,
absolutely, it's like writer's block.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what you do? You drink a lot of motherfucking Bacardi Bear motherfucking shit, dude. No, I'm kidding.
Take some picture.
Take some pictures. No, you drink for sure. No, I think my bad. No, you know what you do is you definitely hit a wall. You'd probably have this like imposter syndrome, where you just have this like kind of like doubt, or this kind of a depression there, or whatever have you. You know, you just kind of go through the motions. But yeah, man, you got to just like push yourself and find motivations and inspirations of within yourself and others to just kind of get you going, right?
Do you have
you know, you need to fuel the horse and make a race, you know?
Do you have a inspiration in particular you've been reaching on as of late?
I always hit up my buddies from way back.
Love it.
You know? Also, like, you know, even the homies. Even like you guys. Like, I'll have an idea and I'll just throw it at you guys. Or, you know, we'll be at our neighborhood bars or whatever. And especially like people we used to work with, whatever, like, dude, I've been working on this idea, man. Or, yo, what you feel like, you know, we just kind of low key just been like, yo, man, what you think about this? You know, just kind of feeling it out. But it's just kind of like, it's also, you know, it's your peers. It's your people that you feel confident and comfortable with. And so those are kind of the inspirations. Going out, having a blast and a good time and drinking, but also just kind of finding your sanity into that too. Sometimes you be cooped up in your own place.
Yeah.
You be cooped up just like going through your personal stuff. Go to a bar and, you know, that's the best medicine. Catch up with the homies, bro. And do that. Because then, I trust you, that's medicine itself.
Yeah.
You know?
Amen.
You know what I mean? For real. Because then you find yourself. You're like, damn, was that all I was tripping about the whole time? Or whatever reason that may be. You're just like, oh man, okay, cool, I got this. You know what? I heard that, you know, ketchup and mustard does exist. You know, something bogus like that. But I don't do ketchup, so. Yeah, I'm sorry. From Chicago. You know?
You just haven't made good ketchup.
Yeah, I know, right?
I think that this industry has this like really beautiful segue of that party. Like, you know, we talk about the party, but you know, a lot of times with the right people, that party becomes a learning experience. You know what I mean? Like, and it turns into R&D while you're at the bar, and like,
right.
That was probably one of the cooler experience I've had. It's like,
I was gonna say,
you're with your peers and you're talking and spitting whatever you're feeling, and then he goes, well, actually, I got that. I got most of that.
Exactly. Let's go. Boom. Right. It's like, say you're an artist, like a musician. Right? It's like instruments, trading sounds, trading bars.
I'm sure that has to happen. They're walking around the studio, they're like, that sounded sick.
I'm riffing this Hot 16, or hey man, I've been on this riff for a while, and somebody same level is just like, bro, why don't you, dude? What if you just do it like this, man? And dude, sure enough, you're just like, bam, because, you know, you kind of get stuck in that little, you know, in that gear. And you just need know how to get out of it. And I think that all it needs is just a little push.
Yes, sir.
That's it.
Yes, sir.
Damn, I just figured this out right now, man. Damn.
That's why I'm super disappointed in the landscape and on the outside.
Yeah.
Because
you know,
we spend our whole day, all day, talking to people in the industry, and like I get that vibe a lot. You know, I feel like in San Diego, you can go to a lot of bars, be a bartender, and be like, hey, I got this little bit on the phone.
And I know what you're trying to get. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And you go outside, and that's not the mentality.
For sure.
And it's just, it's a rough place. Because
it is.
I love what we do, and I love how inclusive it is. And to go outside and to be not that way, it's just like...
I got a message to everybody. This is what I really feel. I feel like we, as... I don't know. Maybe I'm just out of line. I think San Diego is so dope. And shout outs to the females, because they're kicking butt right now.
Yes, sir.
So all them females, I love y'all. But also too, like, respect, and like, I think they're really paving the way. That being said, I think like San Diego itself is just really taking it up there. I think to the point where all these other cities are really starting to take notice. And if we just continue as a group for San Diego to keep pushing each other to be in that studio room and trading those little music notes, those little tidbits, we can be so much more, you know, and if as a unity and just this kind of, you know, platform here, if we just continue to keep on doing that, my friend, man, dude, the sky's the limit, dude. We paint pictures, for crying out loud.
And everybody on the planet just becomes a homie.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. I don't know. That's my little tidbit for that. But
well, I appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, hey, man. Yeah,
you know,
anytime.
I think in a world that's pushing you to draw a line, and you just throwing alcohol over that line to erase it, it brings a lot of what I feel drives this culture.
Yeah.
It drives this culture of like together, like the more we separate, the less we become strong. Like
right.
And the mentality that you bring, the people here bring, I really appreciate it. That's why we're back, you know? Like,
thanks, man.
You guys have something good to say, and something that'll help people, hopefully for me, that'll help people who watch this, because I get a lot of comments and a lot of things, and at the end of the day, we're just some homies. We're just trying to push the narrative of we're stronger together than apart.
Absolutely.
And god damn, come get yourself a good fucking cocktail.
Come on now.
Come on now. Come to the Remy sometime.
Oh, man.
Like, cheers.
Cheers, baby.
But I appreciate you, Ken.
Thanks, man. You guys are awesome anyway, so I'll do this in a heartbeat.
I think we're only as awesome as the people we bring on, my guy.
Thanks, man.
So you lend to that quality.
Thanks, man. Thanks, guys.
I appreciate you, my man. And cheers, man.
Cheers, man. Cheers to you guys. Well, the reason why we're here today is I want to paint you a nice cocktail. And while I'm painting this, I want to do some nice greens here. You know, some happy trees. Just nice and happy. It's just beautiful.